Welcome to WrestlingFix.com. Tim Ash here with Bill Kerner. Toy Fair 2011. Bill, we're going to start this interview off with a huge announcement, and you said you wanted to make it here at Toy Fair. Tell us, what is the huge announcement?
Well, I think in 2011 you're going to probably see Bret Hart. I think we've signed a deal with Bret. You're probably going to see him late 2011 in Elite and possibly even Defining Moments. We're working on getting him into both of those segments. We cut the deal, and we're going to do them. We got him.
So you got Savage last year, at the end of last year.
Right.
You got Bam Bam Bigelow. You've got all these guys coming out, and now Bret Hart. That's just amazing. I mean, coming up for 2011, not one but two Bret Harts. I mean, when did this wrap up? The first of the year?
Well, actually, even a little bit earlier than that. You know, it takes a little while to cut these things. So, yeah, it took a little bit. It took a little while. It took a little negotiation. You know, Bret he's a negotiator.
Yeah.
So
That's Bret.
that's Bret, exactly. And you know, but it went well. I think that, you know, that we're happy with the way it turned out, and you know, he wants to be a part of the line. You know, we're getting to the point now where these guys are starting to come to us. They're coming back to WWE because they want good action figures.
Right.
You know, we're hoping that
And you're
that's
making
the
them.
reason. That we're hoping that's the reason they come back. So you know, so good. We're real happy about it. You know, and it gives us a chance to just pull, you know, one more of the Hart Dynasty together, and you know, who knows what we can do as we go down. You know, we can do some retrospectives, and it leaves us a lot of opportunities as we go forward. You know, with the Hart family, and you know, and everything they brought to WWE. So.
Well, you heard it here first. We're kicking off the interview live Toy Fair 2011, and it's big news already. Bret Hart. We'll be back with some of the new series and talking with Bill more here in just a few moments. Welcome, WrestlingFix.com. Tim Ash here, Toy Fair 2011, beautiful New York City, here with one and only production design director, Bill Kerner. Bill, how you doing today?
Wow, great, Tim. Happy to be here at Toy Fair.
Well, it's been amazing so far. I mean, the response of some of the new products you guys have coming out later this year, it's been overwhelming.
Well, great. I mean, we're really trying to, you know, to feed the monster, as it were, you know, and get the collectors everything that they're asking for, in the WWE line.
Now, we were talking off camera before we got started about, you know, the Legends line and things like that, and some future that we have going on with that, which is great. The defining moments, I mean, to me, that is almost my Legends line, because I mean, they're in great detail, and right here we see some of the upcoming defining moments series, and I see Triple H and I see Ricky. Can you walk us through, you know, I think this is 3 and I think this is going to be 4. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, you know, what we try to do is, you know, give the most accurate thing we can. With defining moments, we wanted to do even more than what we did in the Elite, you know, and give you guys, you know, memory. This is a memory, right? This is that defining moment, as it were, and that, you know, and that everybody remembers those iconic looks at those particular superstars.
With legend, I mean, with some great legend. I mean, you got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat going back to his WrestleMania, and then you got Stone Cold, and you got, you know, Taker and Triple H. I mean, I think that this is probably one of your all's best pieces that you all have put out to date. I mean, especially the Ricky. This just the detail is unbelievable.
Well, you know, we're trying to raise the bar every time. We started out real strong, and I think that everybody, you know, can agree that, you know, we set a new level for, you know, WWE figures. And with these, we're trying to take that even further. We're trying to take it, you know, to, I guess, the ultimate. You know, these are really the ultimate collectors. I'm not quite sure where we can go from here, to tell you the truth. I mean, these are what, you know, my design guys feel are, these are the epitome. These are what they would want to collect if they were doing it, and that's the approach we took, you know, with those guys.
Well, that was going to be my question. I mean, after 2010, you guys came out with a bang for the collector. Not only that, it seems now that you're going geared more toward kids to try and get that market part. Are you going to start slowing down a little bit and paying more attention to detail for some of the future pieces that you guys are going to be coming out with?
Well, you know, 2010, there was a lot of unknowns for us. You know, we kind of knew what, you know, Jack's business was, but we weren't quite sure at what level that that we had to produce in order to feed at the right rate. Because if we don't want to be short, but we also don't want to put too much product out there. We don't want to have the collector feel as though they can't complete. It's called, completionism. So in 2010 we were kind of feeling our way around that. In 2011 now we have a really good handle on at what rate the collectors buy and at what type of product they're buying. So I think as you go through 2011 you'll see more strategic series rather than rather than some of the guys that we put in maybe 2010, we probably in hindsight may not have, we went maybe a little bit too deep or a little too obscure for the market and things like that. So I think we're going to be much more strategic in 2011, and I think you're going to see much more compelling series, overall series, because we have a much better read on the market. So.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the questions from the Wrestling Figures forum is: will we see a Jerry the King Lawler anytime soon in the Legends series, or will he come in a 2-pack with possibly an Andy Kaufman down the line?
I think it's probably definite. By the way, we've had Jerry, as a matter of fact, has been talking to us directly about that.
I'm sure he is.
He's been very adamant about this is his time, right? He's getting a lot of TV time now. He's got a story building around him for he's going to be in WrestleMania, right?
I hope so.
Yeah,
well, he's been around for 30 years without a WrestleMania appearance.
Exactly. So I think this is now the time to do Jerry. Will he be in a 2-pack? Yeah, more than likely, because I think you take a fellow like that and it is a very specific collector, demographic for him. So I think we need to put him in a 2-pack in order to support him a little, in those 2-packs. So yeah, sure, we'll probably see him in wherever he happens to be matched up with, maybe at WrestleMania, possibly.
Well, you were mentioning the fact of doing some guys outside of actual superstars or wrestlers, and that was one of the other questions. I mean, from the Wrestling Figures forum, will we see like a Mr. McMahon, a Stephanie McMahon, Michael Cole on down the line, some referees, people like that?
Mr. McMahon, definitely. Vince has been adamant about us waiting until we get through the active roster. I mean, really, of course, the active roster is constantly changing, so it's difficult to always get through the active roster. But we are to the point now where he has conceptually approved a sculpt, and we're working on a Vince McMahon sculpt. Stephanie, I'm not sure about Stephanie. I think she's going to make that decision whether we want to do it. They have been pretty animate about making sure that we do all the superstars and do all the people that are a part of the program. As everybody knows, Vince isn't a part of the program so much anymore. So he wants it to be about the superstars and not about him. We are going to be talking to Stephanie, and we'll see what she has to say about it. If she wants to be done, we will do her.
Another question from the forums is, why aren't the new Series 4 Legends figures coming with display bases and name tags anymore? And since the display stands are no longer included in the figures, will there be another way to get those, purchase them some other way?
Well, here's the deal. As everybody knows, prices are constantly going up. We have an incredible cost challenge giving the collectors the detail and the accuracy in these figures, and holding our retail prices. So one of the things we decided to do, after talking to collectors, by the way, was that they didn't feel that the bases were as important as having accurate detail and some of the other things. So we have taken them out in some of our series, but we are going to be offering them in some other areas. Matty Collector is an area where we're going to bring bases back, and we're going to bring them back in traditional ways, and we're also going to bring them back in some new ways too, where you may be able to build a bigger display, for example. So yes, bases are in the future, but they may come back in a little bit of different way than we were doing them.
So if we can cut some cost on the actual display stands and things like that, we might be able to add a few more things to the Legends line itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to be able to, at some point, be able to buy stands themselves, and buy a dozen stands for X price on Matty Collector, or maybe with WrestlingFigures.com. I'm not quite sure at this point, but we are working on projects like that because we know the fans like them. But in the figures themselves, again, we just decided that it was more important for us to maintain the quality level than put something in there in a peripheral, especially in the collector-focused product.